It is big, it is premium, and it is beautiful. This is the Samsung Galaxy Note 4. So, as the name suggests, the Galaxy Note 4 is the fourth reincarnation of the Note line, the family that has set the standards of big phones since 2011, and for good reasons. The Note devices have always had top-notch specs, big, beautiful displays, and the software to make the most out of all of that. The Galaxy Note 4 makes exception to none of these. So, first things first. The Galaxy Note 4 has been the first Samsung's flagship with a real metal band holding it together. Just to be clear, it feels great. Devices of this size are never easy to hold, at 6 inches in height and 3 inches in width, but the grip provided by the chamfered edges is solid, and they look good indeed. The buttons on the sides are also made of metal, and they are clicky and responsive to the right amount, being also easily reachable even with one hand. Speaking of build quality, the artificial leather on the back is still there, but it's undoubtedly better than last year's model. Of course, you won't fool anyone by saying it is not plastic, but it surely is a good quality plastic. It feels more durable than real leather, and it's removable after all, should you scratch it excessively or should you just want to change it. Being removable, it also gives you access to the huge 3220 mAh battery, to the SIM card tray and to the microSD slot, the usual Samsung's package. With such a big battery, you should expect hours and hours of screen on time, and that's exactly what you're gonna get. This thing will never die in one day, and a single charge can get you through 2 days of moderate usage. However, that didn't prevent Samsung from making it also fast charging capable, thanks to the included power charger. I'm warning you, fast charging my Note 4 has ruined every other charger for me, they all look painfully slow now. Like every other Galaxy Note, and like quite a lot of devices these days, the Galaxy Note 4 has a massive display. It sports a 5.7 inches Quad HD Super AMOLED display. To be honest, this display doesn't look good. It looks wonderful. It probably is the best display out there right now. It can get unbelievably dim in low light situations, and it is bright enough for outdoors visibility. It has the usual solid, deep blacks, great whites, and a whole lot of saturation. Thankfully, Samsung is aware of the fact that such a high saturation can be annoying, and it lets you easily choose between 4 different saturation levels. As for me, I'll go for the medium one, and I strongly recommend not to choose the basic one, in order not to miss out on the wonderfully vibrant colors this screen can deliver. Of course, the display is also pixel packed, like tons of pixels. No, seriously, there is a massive number of pixels, and I just love it. I've already said that in previous reviews, but just to be clear, you won't see any mind-blowing difference in everyday usage. Right now, some apps are scaling up to Quad HD, but most of the content you'll find out there is still thought for Full HD phones. Yes, it will be sharper, but no, it won't change how you regard your smartphone if you're upgrading from a Full HD device. One annoying side note, however, and probably the one flaw I've found, is the strange color shift you see when you tilt the display. It's not super noticeable, and it's invisible if you're looking at the device from right in front, like you do 90% of the times, but it has surely been distracting to me. However, that is just a tiny stain in an otherwise perfect display. Something else worth noticing about the display is the subtle yet useful curvature on the sides. With a software like Android Lollipop, swipes are present everywhere, and the slightly curved edge is more comfortable than the flat one most phones have. How do all of those pixels affect the performances, you may ask? Almost not at all. Running this beast, you'll find a 2.7 GHz Snapdragon 805, supported by 3 GB of RAM. Everything runs ridiculously fast. Browsing is fast, scrolling is fast, opening up is super fast, and even graphic intense games are no problem, and really, you can expect that from the latest Galaxy Note. However, one thing has actually been suboptimal, so to speak, and that is multitasking. You can see that it always takes half a second too much to get to the menu, and some extra time to open the apps too. It's not slow, absolutely speaking, but seriously, you shouldn't wait that long with hardware like that. By the way, the multitasking is accessible via the usual soft touch buttons, almost a Samsung signature by now, paired with the physical home button, which also happens to be a not so thrilling fingerprint scanner. That is probably just another piece of hardware to throw in the package, just like the heart rate monitor on the back. But this is Samsung, and you know what you get when you buy a Samsung device. However, speaking of hardware, Note 4 has the best camera I've ever tried. It sports a 16 megapixel sensor with optical image stabilization, capable of 4K shooting at 30 frames per second and Full HD at 60 frames per second. The camera interface is simplistic, but it has lots of added options that you can customize to really get that perfect shot. As always, Samsung has also added lots of different shooting modes like dual photo, fast motion, slow motion and so on, and quite a few others are available through the Galaxy App Store. So yeah, in case you were wondering, that is still present, as most of the other Samsung's bloatware. TouchWiz is probably not as ugly and as intrusive as before, running on top of Android 5.0 Lollipop, but it's still mostly intolerable. It has its perks though. The most notable for me have been the dual window capabilities and the S-Pen capabilities, which we'll discuss in a second. As for the dual window, there is also now a pop-up view of selected apps that allows you to literally have apps one on top of another. It is for stuff like that TouchWiz got its reputation, but that has actually been useful once or twice. Mostly, this is about what you may want to do, not about what you do every day. This wouldn't be a Note if it didn't have its stylus, and the S-Pen is better than ever. It looks and feels good, and it brings lots of added functionalities. Note-taking, handwriting and screen clipping are just a few, but you'll find new ones every day you use your smartphone, from the quick previews to the simple scrolling, from text selection to dictionary search. You'll probably just forget it most of the times, but the times that you need it, it is there, and it works great. So, to sum up, the Samsung Galaxy Note 4 is the best reincarnation ever of the Galaxy Note line, and probably the best Samsung's product to date, paired with the wonderful Galaxy S6. To justify the steep expense, you'll find that massive, beautiful display, a great camera, a premium feeling like no Samsung device before, and a whole lot of functionalities, some useful, some less. If you can accept the fact that 90% of the time you're going to need both hands to use it, this is a no-brainer. As for me, I think I'm keeping this for a long time.